Well, it is time to get our hands dirty in the garden today. Hopefully you saw my last video where I actually had a very nice plant haul, went plant shopping in the rain, and my son indulged me by not only joining me on the excursion, but filming and doing the editing for me as well, which is super cool. But before I can even think about getting plants into the ground, I have to prep some of my garden spaces. I have to clear out some areas, and I also have to expand some of my garden beds, because in fall you realize just how big some things like your lantana shrub, for example, has grown over its allotted area, if you will, and I need to expand some of those areas to make sure my plants fit and that I can mow the lawn around them. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in growing zone 8B and we are in southeastern North Carolina. The first area I want to take you to is right outside my fence line, and it's the Island of Misfit Toys. And if you're not familiar, it's just a spot where I put all sorts of plantings that were clearance items or given to me, or divisions of my own perennials that maybe just didn't have the perfect home. So I started a flower bed just for them. Well, I want to make that space look great because that's what my neighbors see. So I have some weeding to do and, well, we'll see. Just some ground prep for some planting. This is it. So a couple of the things that I purchased, actually I purchased a whole bunch of them, but these grasses right here that are some kind of Liriope, Liriope, however you like to say it. I had gotten 4 of these last year at this same clearance sale that I just went to. And so I was thinking I might extend this line. That was one of my thoughts. I have some clearing out of weeds to do because of that. I have a dead shrub right here that I'm going to actually replace probably with my candy corn spirea. I have another thing that I have to remove right here, So all that kind of like good, fun, cleaning out stuff. We about to jump on that train. So as I take this shrub out, this is what I'd like to replace it with. So the double candy corn spirea, this shrub will get to be about 1.5 to 2.5 feet tall and approximately 2.5 feet wide as well. So it's not enormous, which I think is great for this spot, and it's hardy zones 4 through 8. So this guy should be able to take up this space in here and still have these smaller azaleas near it, etc. Now, over here, this is going to go behind these agave, which are a little more spiky and have their own texture. I think this pearl glam shrub will be perfect here. Something about the purple berries that are on this plant, I just feel like are going to play off so awesomely off these spikes of the agave. So let's see here. So this gets to be 4 to 5 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide. So the width again is not tremendous, and I have plenty of space over here. So step 1 will be to remove the old things, and then we'll get these new ones right into the ground. Every time I come out to this space and work a little bit, it is always an improvement, which is good. That's probably the most I can actually ask for, since every garden space is a work in progress. So I can't ever think, oh, well, I'm finished. I'm certainly never finished. But hey, new plants are in the ground, weeds are pulled, things are straightened out and moved appropriately. And the only reason why I didn't add any more of my little grasses is because we're actually very wet still. See, this is my drainage swale or ditch that I talk about all the time, which is why I have an erosion issue going here. So this area right here is still pretty wet. It's not really that great to dig in, so that part will be saved for another day. Back inside the fence in the backyard, another area that I really want to extend is coming up over here. You'll see my garden easel sitting right here, but it's pushed back because my flower bed edging goes in too far, in my opinion. So I'm ready to pull that out more. At least I'm thinking the easel can be a little bit more of a feature pulled forward if I do it that way. And then one other spot is in the rock garden area. Now, I keep extending this bed little by little. I give my plants inside more growing space. But things like this lantana happen, which just gets very large during the growing season. And as you can see, my grass line or my flower bed line is not out nearly far enough. So when we mow the lawn, this kind of becomes a problem area, or the grass really just stays tall below it. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to make it happen, but I did learn a lesson before that if I just dig up a bit of the ground here, I can flip the sod over so the grass part is facing down, and that has worked. It did not make me start getting weeds or grass growing up through it. It actually worked. So I think that's what I'm going to do in both of these spaces today. Well, since we're all gardeners, I know I'm not alone in this. I've done more work than I anticipated. I've extended more area than I thought I was going to, both in coming out from my easel as well as the length of the flower bed going in this direction. So I ended up extending from the rock, came out even deeper for the easel, and then I went all the way, pulling the bed forward, basically until I got to these last pots right here. So I was able to add in some fresh soil, and then of course some fresh mulch on top of that, not just for the clean look with that, but also to try to keep some of the fall weeds from germinating. And as per usual, this job took a lot longer than I thought, so I may be waiting to do the area extending the flower bed in front of the lantana until next time. But thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me during these garden projects. I'm glad to be back out here with my hands in the dirt. And fall planting is great, especially when the temperatures have cooled off enough that it feels very comfortable being out here. I hope it is the same for you in your gardens. Follow me on social media for more inspiration and gardening ideas. And until next time, you guys, happy planting.